Welcome to your Lady Black Cats broadcast, your independent Sunderland Ladies podcast.
This is the first episode of our podcast, and we're going to do a review of the season so far and have a look at the squad.
So, unfortunately, we've not had a very good season so
No.
far. Sitting second bottom of the table, only ahead of Donny, and we had an okay FA Cup run until the disappointing semi-final. I mean, up until the semi-final, we did
that's
okay. But we're going to talk all about that in the podcast and start with the league. So,
Good idea.
we have played... How many games have we played?
Some games. Like 7, maybe? 6. We've played 6.
We have played 6 games. Yeah, we've played 6 games.
Knew it.
So, 6 games, and we've yet to win any of them, which is quite unfortunate considering our good run we had last season.
Yeah, and we've played some teams that we should have beaten so far.
We
Reading.
have 3 points, but again, all of them have come from draws, and along with Reading and Doncaster, we're the only teams in the league that haven't won a game yet.
Yep.
I mean, granted, we were against Chelsea and Man City for some of them, but even though they were games that I expected to lose because they're top of the table teams, it's still disappointing that we've played other teams in the league that have been having a really poor season and haven't managed to pick up points or haven't performed as well as we could have. So if we look at the league, we started at home against Reading.
Yeah.
Should have been a game that we won.
Yeah.
Again, it was a disappointing draw for us. And we finished the game to Chelsea, a game we didn't expect to win. And we didn't win it, but we didn't expect to win it because fighting for the title. We had our standout loss to Liverpool at home. Again, extremely disappointing. And yeah, so if we look at the Sunderland v Reading game.
Yeah, I was there,
You were there.
unfortunately.
Yeah. It was a tight game.
It was a tight game.
Slightly
Slightly ruined by the weather.
ruined by the
It
weather.
was disgusting. I've never been so wet in my entire life. Even stood at the back.
Yeah, so Reading came up from the WSL2.
Yeah.
And although we came up last season and we had a really, really good season and finished 4th, which was probably unexpected.
Yes, definitely.
Although they came up, we would have expected to beat them.
Yeah.
And it was unfortunate it was the first game of the season because if it had been a couple of games in, I reckon we would have got the win.
Yeah.
Shown by a week later when we beat them in the FA Cup at home.
Yeah.
But no, we conceded first
From a set piece.
from a set piece, which is something we definitely need to work on because we're not very good at dealing with set pieces.
Yes.
Ideally, a game we had to win because there's so many good teams in this league and we're not up to the standard that they are. And
Yeah.
yep. So why did we concede off the set piece?
I think our defence wasn't set up right for it, and then it just managed to slot through where Rachel Laws couldn't get to it.
Yeah.
And she didn't particularly go for it, but I don't think there was much she could do about it.
I mean, it would be nice to see her try.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
It went straight in the bottom corner.
Yeah.
And she was on the wrong side. She was never going to get to it anyways.
yeah. But then we equalised with a
Right after half time, which was very nice.
Yeah. So came into the second half with the attitude and determination of getting that equaliser, and we did.
God bless Beth Mead.
God bless Beth Mead, yeah. So, and then again there was the controversial moment of the Beth Mead disallowed goal.
It was in.
I mean, I'm still debating whether it was in or whether
in.
it was not, but
It was in. I saw with my own eyes.
So, unfortunately, that wasn't allowed, so we came away with a draw. So, again, disappointing start to the season.
Yeah.
But then we moved on, and we had our game against Liverpool away.
Yeah.
And, surprisingly, that, although we came away with a draw, I thought that was quite a good game after going 2-0
Yes,
down and then
it
coming
was.
back to 2-2. So, they scored 2 pretty quick goals, didn't they?
Yes, they did. They were leading at 2-0 in half time.
And then we came back by Brooke Chaplin scoring 2 goals to equalise for us.
Yes, Brooke Chaplin, my lord and saviour.
And this was the game that we played Olsen in goal.
Yes.
Because that was after the FA Cup
FA
loss.
Cup one. Let's not talk about that ever.
So I'm assuming Fairweather was trying to test out other goalkeepers, considering the fact that we'd lost by a significant number of goals in the last game.
Yeah.
So
the last game that we played against Liverpool before the start of this season was also a 2-2 draw, but at Hetton, and Hilda played in goal that game as well.
yeah, I think Liverpool seems to be the team that we try her. Although we didn't play her at the home game, but she was injured, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's been injured. She picked up a knock in the Liverpool game, and she wasn't on the bench for a couple of games.
Because you were talking to her, and she
Yes,
said that
I talked to her at the next home game, which was the Manchester City game, and she said that she was injured.
I mean, she picked up a knock, and I'm pretty sure I know where she picked it up, because she got booted in the side of the head by a Liverpool player on a risky save, and that obviously made her sit out for a couple of games.
She also hurt her knee.
And hurt her knee, yeah. Although the significant moment in the Liverpool game was, despite our already thin squad,
Yeah,
we lost Kyla Showman to knee injury.
I'm very upset.
And to be said about that, we have to look at Liverpool's pitch.
Yeah.
Pretty disgraceful pitch. I don't
It's
know.
awful.
I mean, we've had Izzy Christensen injury this
Izzy
season.
Christensen.
Kyla
Kyla
Showman.
Showman.
Lucy Staniforth tore her ACL on that pitch a couple
Last
of
time.
seasons ago.
Yeah.
We had an Arsenal player, I think it was Leah Williamson, picked up an injury against Liverpool in the
Yeah.
last game of the season.
Yeah.
But
I mean, every single player to ever play football has injured themselves on the Liverpool pitch.
I mean, it's pretty shocking, but that has put us at a disadvantage because we already don't really have any defenders. So that's
we brought in 2 defenders and now they're both gone.
Because who was the other defender we brought in that's injured?
Rachel Pittman.
Rachel Pittman.
She also tore her ACL.
And again, that was on a awful pitch because that was on a
Yeovil.
Yeovil's pitch, yeah. So that's been a really, really unfortunate setback for us this season because Showman was. After our defence last season, we knew that was where we had to improve, and we've just gone about 10 steps back.
I mean, we lost defenders through retirements and then brought other people in and then they're injured, so we've got less defenders than we did last year, and we struggled with defence last year.
Yeah. So again, Pittman and Showman both looking to be out for the whole season and probably into next season as well because they're both very serious knee injuries. We're going to have to bring in defenders in this transfer window, which is open at the moment as this podcast is being recorded. Although we've failed to sign anyone yet, but
it's only the second day.
I know, but just knowing. So that leaves us with 4 actual defenders on our squad. Well, we've got 4 defenders, but we don't really. We can play people out of position, but it's not. With our squad, I wouldn't recommend it.
Probably have 5 if you count Megan Beer. But then she's still development, so she's still risky if you do have to play her.
I was saying yesterday, though, that I would personally bring up Megan Beer from development instead of spending loads to pull in other players when...
Yeah. We've got that talent right there. And she's ours already.
I mean, Megan Beer has been pretty good for us, of what I've seen so far.
The only bad thing we've done was the red card, for the handball. But that's a thing that every player does in their lifetime. Better to do it while she's young.
Everyone has a bad game.
Yep.
It's just unfortunate it came in a game that, again, should have won. So, Liverpool game, pretty good. We managed to pick up a point, which I would have wanted 3 points, but we got a point out of it.
Yeah.
So it's better than nothing.
Mhm.
And then we came back to Hetton and we had Sunderland v Man City at home and 2-0 loss. But to be fair,
against Man City, that's a pretty decent scoreline.
A team that had a 100% record until their last game before the break, going for the league win. Came second last year. They're in the Champions League this year.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal squad. Got some really, really good players. Is it 8 England players they have on their squad? Might be 7.
I think it's 8 now with Izzy coming back from injury.
Yeah, so really didn't expect to win that. Could have tried for a draw, but we did play phenomenally well. They only got 2 past us. Considering that Man City won 6-0 against Doncaster at home, and then only beat us 2-0 away, it shows that we're playing considerably more strategic football than Doncaster.
Yeah, which I mean is kind of essential.
It's kind of essential considering the fact that that's who we're going to be in a relegation battle with.
Yeah.
But, again, depends on how many teams are going down to the WC.
1 down, 2 up.
1 down, 2 up.
1 down, 2 up.
And that's for the new set up.
For the 20 teams.
Okay. So that was our first loss that we picked up this league campaign. And of course, like I've mentioned, it was to current league leaders. So again, not expected to win it. We did play well. Our defence wasn't great, but we've mentioned that our defence is the area we really lack.
Yeah.
Although we have got an excellent goalkeeper to try to stop that. Sharp got subbed off halfway through that game.
Yeah,
and
that was terrifying, considering she's just come back from an ACL tear. I've never been more stressed out in my entire life.
I mean, it did look pretty bad. She was down, had to get helped off.
Yeah. Then she was walking again by the end of the game, meeting the fans and that, so glad she came back alright.
That was our second game back from injury, or was it our first?
I think it was her second. She played in the Liverpool game.
Yeah, so again, I was maybe saying that game maybe came back from injury a bit quick, doing 90 minutes straight away.
Didn't have much choice though with the defence that we had.
Yeah. Well, the defence we had didn't have much choice, but again, if we had had the choice, we wouldn't be playing her for 90 minutes straight back from injury. It's just unfortunate, but luckily nothing came out of it. It was okay. She just had a bit of a knock, and also we did struggle near the end of that game as well because Victoria Williams came off and she looked injured as well. She picked up a knock. I think
she looked injured. She tried to come back for the next game, but then was subbed off again. Yeah, and she looked really frustrated about it.
Yeah. So, but she's fine now.
She's good now.
She was fine by the break. So
yes.
I think this was the first game where I picked up on the issue of us not closing down players. With teams like Reading and teams like Liverpool, it's not that big an issue.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we have Rachel Laws to stop their shots, but with players like Fran Kirby who can get through defence really quickly and have really, really strategically placed shots, it's complete.
Mm-hmm.
We can't win a game like that.
Even having someone like Nikita Paris and having the midfield that Manchester City has, if they can get past our defence and she's in the right spot, she's going to slot it home.
I mean, there was the goal, the Tony Duggan goal, where it was passed through our defence, and if we'd closed down that ball, they wouldn't have had the space to manoeuvre around our defence and make that pass. And I think that's an issue we really have to work on, because we've also had that issue in further games of the season, and frankly, our defence needs a lot of work. Yeah. Although, plus from that game, Roach was absolutely fabulous.
She was indeed.
I mean, we have her up on the wing, and her and Tori were playing really well together, although we didn't utilise that wing very much.
No. Steph Roach on the wing isn't the best tactic. She's a forward through and through, but
I mean, we said we'd play 4-4-2 with her and Mead up front to take pressure off Mead, but she has been playing well on the wing.
This season she's played really well on the wing.
Man City game again, got off that amazing header. Almost scored to. I think it was equalised for us at that point. I don't think they were 2 ahead.
No, they were only 1 ahead. She would have put us level.
So that would have put pressure on them. Although again, Man City haven't conceded this season. Yeah. Karen Bardsley, England goalkeeper, probably to be expected. Yeah. But no, I was pretty disappointed with her defensive performance that game. But our performance on the wing is improving, especially with Steph Roach, although we need to learn to use her more, because we seem to always go up the other side with
They normally have Kira or Joyce
Yeah.
on that wing.
Yeah, so again, utilise that. But
Yeah.
it was expected. And then we went away to play Reading at... They play Adams Park, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So we played Reading away, and 1-1 draw again, really frustrating.
Yeah.
We needed that win, especially because we beat them in the FA Cup at home,
Yeah.
so we should have known how they were playing. So both goals came from penalties, so there was no real chances for either side. So we got
our penalty first.
Bethmead didn't score off the penalty.
No, it came back off the post and Mary Ebbs pushed it out back to Bethmead, who slotted it in while Mary Ebbs was still on the floor.
Yeah, so 1-0 up was pretty good.
Yeah.
We were that until it was about the 80th minute we were that.
Yeah.
And then Megan Beer handballed the ball on the line to save it. Got red carded. It was a bit of a stupid penalty to give away,
it was.
but being development, I can understand.
Yeah.
I mean, if it had been someone like our captain,
Yeah.
I would have been pretty disappointed, but I was disappointed with the result because it was a stupid game to lose or draw. But yeah, Megan Beer got sent off, and then they slotted away the penalty, drew it to 1-1. Again, another game we needed to win. Disappointing we haven't, so that means that we've got to rely on games against teams like Doncaster and Notts to win.
Yeah.
Although, I do have to question Carlton's tactics in this.
Oh, yeah.
Because what was it about Rachel Furness that was said?
Oh, the Sunderland Ladies official account tweeted that Rachel Finesse was a thorn in their side and she was breaking up the play and getting it forward for us, stopping them on the attack, and then literally 3 minutes later subbed her off. Which I don't understand.
I mean, I've said this time and time again, I would never understand why you would sub a best player off, and I mean, I've seen that in a lot of games, like Scotland game last night, subbed off Lisa Evans when she was her best player. That Sunderland game subbed off Rachel Furness when she was her best player, and I would understand the tactics if the player wasn't an 90-minute player, but Fernie's played for us so long that she is a 90-minute player, so I don't
She's a 90-minute player, she's an international, and she can score goals.
Yeah, and she didn't pick up a knock that game, and I know that for a fact.
She was fine.
So it's a bit confusing as to why she was subbed off. I would have done it differently. Maybe
Me too.
Switched her into defence to put more in defence. And then,
possibly, yeah.
But no, game we should have won. Didn't win it. Again, that seems to be the story of her season. Disappointing.
Yeah.
Then we came home to Liverpool.
Oh God.
Our worst game of the season.
Yeah.
Our defence was appalling.
It was shocking.
And I mean, it's disappointing to say, but the worst player on that pitch was Bannon.
Yeah, she was. She had a bad game.
It's disappointing to see because she's been our captain and she's played for us for 10 years.
She's played for us for 10 years and captain for 8, I think.
And it was disappointing. Like the first goal by Rosie White, unavoidable. It was an absolute peach of a goal, and as a Sunderland fan, I'll admit that it was a wonderful goal by Liverpool.
Rosie White just likes to score against us. It's one of her good things.
I know.
Play her, they're gonna get a goal.
Although going 3-0 down, second and third goal were pretty much direct consequences of Bannon.
Yes.
Although second goal, Abby Holmes ran up the pitch, couldn't get back. Steph Bannon was forced to take a chance at a slide tackle in the box, missed the ball, took the player out, penalty.
Yeah.
So that obviously 2-0 down, and then the third goal came direct. It was really bad. Bannon tried to clear it, went directly into the back of her own net.
Yeah.
I mean,
from our attack as well. They just hoofed it from our attack up to Tash, who was waiting on the wing, and Tash put a cross through, and it looked like it was going in, so Bannon tried to clear it and just put it further in.
I mean, arguably if she'd left it, Lozzie probably would have got
She could have got it.
But I understand why she tried to clear it.
Yeah.
But it's just really disappointing to see our captain scoring an own goal in a game that she's already contributed to a penalty.
Yeah.
So worst game Bannon's had in a while, and you don't normally see her having a bad game.
No,
she's an excellent
normally
player.
a solid player.
I don't know what happened to our team that night, but it was disappointing.
The team seemed to have a couple of arguments in that game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Lozzie and
Bannon squared up a little bit.
I mean, to be expected, like
After the penalty, yeah.
To be expected, goalkeeper pretty angry, but I mean that I think that affected our team dynamic a bit.
Yeah.
But that said, didn't deserve a 4-0 loss.
No, definitely not.
And it was against a bad form team as well.
Yeah. With Liverpool, the amount of changes that they made to their squad, they're still gelling right now. And it's like, you should be able to take advantage of a team that's pretty much got,
I mean,
like 3 or 4 players that played last year.
I mean, they have some solid players. So they brought in Carolyn Weir, they brought in
Alex Greenwood, Siobhan Chamberlain.
Yeah, and Carolyn Weir for Liverpool.
Yeah.
Has been alright this season. I mean, disappointing penalty miss against Notts County.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we didn't deserve a 4-0 loss. That last goal in the 90th minute, it was just shabby defending, but we didn't deserve the goal against us.
No.
The way we played, we should have picked a goal back.
We should, yeah.
Although Trev and Steph Roach on the wing was phenomenal again.
It's the best thing that's ever happened. Put Trev in that spot on left back and put Steph Roach on the left wing and it makes magic.
It does. Although again, we don't use them very much.
No. The only way it comes to that wing is if Trev picks it up in the back and puts it through to Steph Roach.
I mean, that's our issue though. We always play short.
Yeah.
And we tend to use, again, the wing that Ramshaw normally plays on.
Yeah. And that's normally got Abby Holmes on.
Yeah. And it's too predictable. We need to play it out to Steph Roach.
You could say that when we were getting it on that side, it was getting further because Steph and Trev were overlapping and then could work with each other and the other team weren't used to it.
Steph had some phenomenal shots that game that were really, really well saved, and
she had some good crosses, putting in the corners from that side. She was doing wonders to try and get a goal back, and you could see that she was frustrated about it. There was one point where we were sat and the ball went out for a throw-in, and she nearly decked the official because they gave it the wrong way.
Yeah, and I think she had every right to be frustrated as well, though, because she was playing wonders and she was putting crosses into the box. And again, our issue, we don't get players in the box. We get Mead in the box, but that's because she plays up front. But again, that 4-4...
No one pushes with her.
4-4-2 would work wonders there because we'd have Roach cross him, we'd have Mead in the box, and we could push our 4 in the middle up to... And again, players like Chaplin pushing into the box, it's like a solid chance at goal if we get a good cross, which Steph Roach normally is a good cross. But I think our lack of using her comes a bit from last season because it's as if
she was disappointing last season. She came in with high standards from the fans and she didn't meet them because we played her out of position.
I know, and she has kind of adapted to that position.
She has started to adapt to it properly, but last season we didn't use that wing at all because
I'm honestly surprised that we kept her from last season, but I'm so glad we did because I really, really enjoy seeing her play with the team. I think she works
got
well
good
with
passion.
She's got good passion, yeah. And that came off a failed trip to America to play with Houston, but kind of selfish to say I'm kind of glad because I do enjoy having her in the team.
Yeah, I like her.
One of my favourite players.
I've
definitely got to say that. So we ended off our campaign in the league before the break with an away game to Chelsea. Again, expected to lose, and we did, but we only lost 2-1.
And we took the lead.
And we took the lead first through Steph Roach. Amazing player.
It was a really nice goal.
It was a wonderful goal. I mean...
I think I cried a little bit.
Yeah, I was just so amazed because that's her first... Is that her first goal in any league campaign? Because I don't think she scored last year, did she?
No, she scored one last year.
She
scored one last year because I saw it and I was amazed. Because of how bad she'd been playing last year, and I was like, that was a really nice goal, and if we play her like that, then she's going to perform.
And we have been playing her like that.
We started playing her again like that, and it was really nice.
So we took the lead through her, and my favourite part of that was the passion on her face.
Yeah, you could tell how ecstatic she was to have put that ball in the back of the net and put us 1-0 up. She was so just overjoyed.
I know.
I love her.
I was overjoyed as well, actually. Like, I was sitting watching at home, and honestly, like, it was just so exciting. Although, our defence was poor because we conceded 135 seconds later.
Yeah. From a set piece, from a corner.
And that just proves we need to work on those set pieces.
It was Kelly McDougall had been marking Katie Chapman, and she just let her go.
I know.
She slipped past her, got in front of the ball, and put her head on it.
I know. And again, I think that's where we lack. We don't have enough tall defenders to.
No,
I mean,
Kelly Mack's strong in the midfield, but she's not tall enough to be a good defender.
I mean, you look at teams like Man City, have players like Jennifer Beattie who's tall enough to block headers. You look at players like Chelsea, tight marking, don't let any players get away or get the chance. We just don't have that.
We don't have it.
But again, we have been disappointed in defence because of the injuries we've had, and I think it's not completely to blame, but it has a significant factor in it. Because, I mean, when Showman was playing for us, that Reading game in the FA Cup, she was really good.
She's an outstanding defender. She's so good. Especially pushing up on the wing. Like what Trev does when she's in that position, where she pushes up and helps Steph Roach on the wing. Showman can do all that, and she's got the speed for it, and she's the 90-minute player. But when you lose her, we've got on the wing, we've either got Abby Holmes, who is slow. She's a good defender, she's just slow, but she tries to push up.
Yeah.
And then we've got Trev, who can do it, and we've got Hayley Sharp, who isn't a 90-minute player yet.
Yeah, I mean, Trev is arguably tall enough to defend set pieces, but you can't rely on one player to do that.
No, definitely not.
But our set pieces showed in the Reading games as well, and we have this break until the 29th when we play Chelsea.
No, we play Arsenal first.
Okay, we play Arsenal away on the
26th.
26th, yeah. So 2 difficult teams.
Yeah, straight off the bat. But then after that, we should hopefully have an easier run.
Yeah, so, got to work on that in our break.
Yeah, definitely.
Although, saying that we lost, it was our best performance of the season, despite the loss.
It was a good performance. Chelsea were all over us, but
I mean,
Rachel
Chelsea had how many shots?
36 shots.
Chelsea had 36 shots.
No, they had 32 to our 6, I think.
No,
something like that.
We only had 3 shots. They had 36 and we had 3.
Alright, yeah, that's right.
Chelsea had over 30 shots and we had about 3.
Yeah,
and
I had a handful at most.
But saying that, we managed to get one of them away, and Chelsea only managed to get 2 of those 36 shots away.
Rachel Law's done us wonders.
She was unbelievable that game.
She was getting her hand to every single ball that she could, and it was just unlucky that the 2 got in from her, because there was one that was from the set piece that was just, she couldn't control it, and Fran Kirby's got that much speed and that much skill about her, and she can just work her way past defenders like it's nobody's business.
Like I mentioned earlier though, that's why we have to learn to close them down.
Yeah.
And
if our defence had been better that game, we could have come off with a clean sheet.
Yeah. But despite saying that, right, you've got to question whether Lozzie's fighting for a number 1 spot in every game, because again, after that really, really disappointing Arsenal loss, we did start Olsen for a few games.
Yes.
And
we started her for the 1 until she picked up the injury, and then we couldn't start her anymore. We had to put Lozzie back in.
Although Lozzie has been phenomenal, she's an England standard keeper. She has been called up for the England squad when
others have got injuries.
And
Siobhan Chamberlain's last injury, Rachel Laws got called up.
I mean, that just shows though that she's 4th in line out of all the English keepers for a space in the squad. So
she's a good keeper.
Also, I'd like to mention about this game, Rachel Furness we're going to head that ball, knocking heads
with Anna Borges,
continuing to play with like a massive egg on her head. Even, I mean, arguably I'd say she probably had concussion from that.
Yeah, she probably did. Rachel Furness is an absolute beast. She's not going to let anything happen to the team.
We've said before though she's amazing in the air.
She is. She got the most headers in the entire league last year.
I mean, being a Northern Ireland international, you don't expect much, because obviously Northern Ireland, we have a soft spot for them, but they're not the greatest team.
No.
And to have a player of such standard and such ability from a team like that is just really nice.
It's incredible.
And she's good at scoring goals, shown by the Northern Ireland qualifier against Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia. She scored in that.
She scored, and you know, it's just I just love having her on the team. It's really nice to have her on the team.
It is. I like Fernie.
So yeah, a roundup of our league so far.
Yeah.
Our defence is abysmal.
Yes, that's true.
Although it's
partly unavoidable because of injuries.
Yeah. In my opinion, Roach has been our best player this season.
I'd have to agree.
Although you got to credit Laws and Chaplin. Chaplin's been the one scoring goals for us. Laws has been the one saving us from bigger losses, as shown in the Chelsea game.
Yeah.
We need to work on defending set pieces. I've mentioned this so many times.
Yes.
And we also need to work on set pieces because Lucy Stanford takes ours.
Yes,
and
she does.
There's no issue with them. It's just we can't get on the end of them to score.
Yeah. She's good at putting them in. It's just whether people can get on the end of them. And we probably need someone who's going to be able to score directly from them as well. Stan can try at it, but they normally get saved. Roach tries. Roach did put one in one of the games. Can't remember which one it was. Might have been Chelsea. But it was a good shot. It just didn't get in.
I just think, though, that playing a 4-4-2 would benefit us in situations like that.
It would.
And then our formation has been pretty poor this season. Don't get me wrong, right? Our midfield is okay. It's our defence, because if we have Abby Holmes running up the wing to put in a cross, like, she's an amazing crosser, so that's not an issue. But when she can't get back in time, we have to spread our defence, and it's out of position.
We spread so thin, and it just gives other players the chance to get in behind.
So yeah, playing Roach and Mead up front would be my option. That's what I would do.
I would
as
do
a
that
fan.
too.
We need to learn to pass the ball a bit more, because as shown in the Chelsea game, we passed, got it to Roach, she got it in the back of the net.
Yeah.
It's just, we need to work on that.
Yeah.
But then we had a pretty good FA Cup run until
we had 2 good games.
We had 2 great games that we didn't concede in, kept 2 clean sheets.
Yeah.
And then the Arsenal game came.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. So first we played Yeovil.
Yes.
Away.
At Yeovil.
And Chaplin got a brace again.
Yeah. Chaplin with the braces.
Chaplin has just been so good at putting them away for us this season.
I think she's been able to shine because everyone marks Beth Mead so much. Yeah. And it gives her the space, and she can get in where Beth can't.
Has Chaplin been starting every game this season?
Yes.
Yeah.
She was a regular starter last season as well.
Yeah. I mean, didn't follow the team much last season, only followed them through.
Yeah.
So, although against a team like Yeovil, this could be evident that our conversion's pretty poor.
Yeah, we should have won by more. We went into half time at 0-0. We scored both of our goals after in the second half. It's like we should have been winning, but they did say that pitch was partly to blame because they're not used to playing on an uneven turf, which is what Yeovil has.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying earlier. FA standard pitches, do they actually assess these pitches? Because, like I said, the Liverpool pitch, absolutely shocking because so many injuries, yet they're still allowed to play on it. And I think, I mean, you wouldn't see men being asked to play on a pitch that has caused injuries. It would be investigated straight away. So I don't see why after 4 odd injuries, Liverpool are still allowed to play there. And especially with it being a rugby pitch as well.
Yeah.
Rugby pitches get so torn up and so messed up with the players, and coming from a rugby fan, like, they're not suitable to football players. And I just think as well, like, I've not seen the Oval pitch, but
I haven't seen it, but from the reports and from what they were saying on the radio when I was listening to it, it was just uneven. It's hard to get your foot down properly, and when something like that happens and you go in for a ball and you don't put your foot down, you slip, you tear your ACL. It's that easy. Like
what happened to Pittman in the same game. That was Pittman's first game for us. We brought her in. Yeah, she sounded like she'd been playing really well. It was her and Shawman on the two wings, and looked like they were improving our defence, and then she tears her ACL, unfortunately. So she's out the whole season. Yeah. So again, lost that defensive improvement that we've made. I really just don't know what we can do in terms of defence. Yeah, I think for defence we'll have to pull someone up from development or loan someone. I'd definitely pull up Megan Beer though, because despite that red card,
She's been
good. I mean, for a development team, we have obviously the winning development team.
Yeah.
You know,
our development team is incredible.
yeah.
It always has been.
And then all the other teams steal players from it.
Yeah, that's how it works.
I mean, who's come through our development? We've had Lucy Bronze, played for Man City now. We've had
Steph
Demi
Houghton.
Stokes, Steph Houghton, both played for Man City.
Jordan Nobbs.
played
Lucy Stan,
for-
who left and then came back.
Yeah, so Lucy Stan played for Liverpool for a while and then came back to us.
Yeah, we had Carly Telford. She came through ours. She's from Newcastle. We've had a lot of good players come through our development team, but we lost a lot of them when we failed to get into the Super League and got relegated that one time.
So I'm just hoping now, because we're in the Super League, if we manage to stay up, I'm hoping that we can pull up players from development and get these world class players that we've lost in the past. I mean, Megan Beer's already looking pretty good. Pull her up.
Maddie Hill
Maddie
is
Hill.
a standout. We had Tyler Dodds, who went to Durham. She, when I went to see the development teams the few times that I've been able to get there, she was incredible, and I'm not surprised Durham snatched her up.
I mean, not being funny though, as much as I want to see Durham do well, I'm hoping if they fail to come up to the Women's Super League, we maybe bring her back next season, or because
They've done well to get her when they have though, because she's still young, and if they can train her up, she's going to be really good for them. We missed out on a big opportunity with Tyler Dodds.
I mean, arguably we're going to have to rely a lot on development players though, because unlike Man City, we don't have as much funding to bring in other players, world class players, like, because obviously, as you can see, we only have 2 international players on our squad. Obviously we've got people that are potential England internationals, but we've only got 2 internationals with Steph Roach and Rachel Furness playing for Ireland and Northern Ireland respectively. But you see teams like Man City have 2 Scottish internationals, 8 England internationals,
Swedish international,
a Swedish
in Islanda.
international. They've just brought in a Netherlands international.
Yeah.
So
We've got youth internationals for England in Georgia Stanway and Marie Hurahan.
yeah, and again, I know Karen Barnes is the England keeper, but she again was potentially a USA goalkeeper because that's our
Yeah,
home
she's
country.
from the USA.
So, I mean, we need to rely on development players, and I think that's why we struggle a lot against big teams. But we won our first game against Yeovil.
Yes.
And we unfortunately lost Pittman. But then we regrouped and we played Reading we played Reading at home in the league.
Yes.
Drew 1-1. Came back a week later, beat them 3-0. So I don't know why.
We understood how they played, and I think we wanted to show that we're still that team that did what we did last season.
I just think though, like, with a win like that, we should have capitalised on that at the away game, and again, didn't do it.
Knocked out our confidence, I think, a few games though.
But Mead shows potential against Reading because she scored in all 3 games we've had against Reading this season. And it was a strong game for us. Like, that was my first Sunderland Ladies game.
Yes, it was.
And I was really impressed with what I saw. I mean, I've been following them for a while, obviously through you.
Yes.
But that was the first one I managed to get down from Scotland for. And it was a strong game. We played well. We had formation. We knew how Reading worked, and we capitalised on that.
Yeah.
And
We kept a solid team against them as well compared to in the league, and Reading changed up a little bit. They put Mary Earps in goal rather than their number 1, Grace Maloney, and they had a few players that had started that didn't start in the FA Cup run.
yeah, and Mary Epps had a good game. We spoke to her after it, and
We did.
she was good.
She was very nice, very gracious in defeat.
Yeah, but yeah, obviously their manager saw the same thing because stuck her in goal again, like in the league game away, and failed to replicate this win in the league.
Yeah.
Just
Mary
disappointing.
Earps is going to be strong for them now, especially with her just recently finishing her uni. She's just handed in her dissertation,
Yeah,
so
so
she's going to probably shoot up to number 1 spot.
and full time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she'll be full time soon.
So I think that's also where we struggle as well, not having all of our players on full time.
Yeah,
Because I know a lot of our players have full time.
that's a big a big struggle for us. Like the likes of Chelsea and Man City, every single player is going to be on a full-time contract. We can't do that. We've got multiple teachers in our squad who can't just be like
and not
going away to train.
I mean, not the people who have side jobs in our squad are still phenomenally good players, but they could be that much better on a full-time contract.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just unfortunate. But
it is.
Then we moved on to our game against Arsenal.
I don't want to talk about
7-0
it.
loss.
7-0.
Shouldn't have let that many goals in.
No. I mean, it's the fact that so many of them came at the end of the game so late, like one after the other, just banging them out.
Yeah, because it was 2-0.
Yeah.
And then
Until like the 70th minute or something, when Abby Holmes got sent off.
Abby Holmes
And gave away the penalty.
gave away a penalty. I don't know if it was, like, I know Abby Holmes can be very aggressive sometimes in her play, and I love that about her, but in a game like this, it let us down a bit, and she got sent off, gave away the penalty, and fun to note, Kelly Smith didn't play until Abby Holmes came off, and I think that might come from the wee incident we had a couple of seasons ago where Abby Holmes broke her leg.
Yeah.
But she came on, and they scored 5 goals in 20 minutes if you include the penalty.
Yes.
So we shouldn't let that 5 goals in.
No.
And I don't know if we pulled someone back in defence to. Okay, so
we left our 3 in defence. We put on we'd done a substitution. We had 1 substitution left, and Carlton made it in the midfield and brought on another midfielder.
I would have brought on a defender.
I would have.
But no, it was a shambles of a performance from our team, and it was a sad day to be a Sunderland fan.
It was.
But in saying that, we shouldn't lose in the league that much by them.
Definitely not.
At least that loss came in the FA Cup where it didn't
really
matter.
Yeah, it knocked our confidence, but at least it's like the FA Cup, it's over and done with. Just move on to the league.
Also, worth mentioning, we played worse against them after Emma Mitchell got sent off for them against 10 men.
I mean, we had the pressure on us, then they were down to 10 men, that we should have been the stronger team.
Yeah.
Got 1 extra player, but it shook us.
I mean, Emma Mitchell, again, biased, being Scottish.
Yeah.
Scottish international, phenomenal player.
She's a very good player.
Her getting sent off should have been a blessing for our team, and it was just a tragedy.
It was such a stupid sending off for her as well, getting 2 yellows so quickly. That
one of them was for dissent as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I mean, that should have been a blessing for us, but it worked out as a tragedy for us because
we lost it. They came straight back from that and scored, and we just lost it.
But no, like the 5 goals in 20 minutes after Abby got sent off shows that Abby's a key to our defence.
Yeah.
And it does need to improve drastically, and the fouling's an issue. I mean, it doesn't bother me, but when she gets sent off, it's an issue because we already have struggles in our defence, especially this season. And I don't know, I don't...
I mean, that was the game that Abby Holmes got sent off and forced Hayley Sharp to come back in on a full 90 minutes.
Yeah. And to be fair, Liverpool pitch, she played well in it, but it scared me, her coming back on the Liverpool pitch because of the history that pitch has had. I don't know, I feel like we didn't play to our standard, and we might have given up a bit easily, and it's heartbreaking to see players crying after the game and stuff.
Yeah.
But again, the game didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
We were unlikely to get to the final anyway.
If we got to the final, we would have ended up facing Chelsea, which we weren't going to win.
But to be fair, Chelsea played awful in the final.
Yeah, but I still think Chelsea's awful is better than our good.
Yeah.
They've just that much of a higher standard.
Yeah, but no, game didn't matter. We can capitalise on that, come back against them in the league. We face them away, but we know how they work away.
Yeah.
So, hopefully we can pull a draw out of that.
Yeah.
Hopefully Emma Mitchell will be kind to us this time.
Hope so.
So yeah, our FA Cup round-up. Our injuries didn't help.
No.
We had a good run until Arsenal, although arguably we should have been scoring more in the Yeovil game.
Yeah.
semi-final was a shambles and we just want to forget about it. But it's one game. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
Um,
Just forget about the FA Cup and leave it.
yeah.
It's over and done with now.
We've got the Conti Cup coming up, and
Yeah.
as much as I would like to see us do well, use it to work out how Donny works so we can beat them in the league, because
Yes.
that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were gonna look at the squad now, because obviously thin squad, and want to talk a bit about how we think the players are doing for us this season.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, we've obviously got 2 keepers this season.
Yes.
We've got Rachel Laws and we've got
Hilda Gunnarsson.
yeah. So Rachel Laws has saved us in so many games this season.
She has. She's spectacular.
Chelsea game stands out in particular.
Yeah.
And her passion shows for the club.
Oh, she's always screaming. Always. You can hear her when you're sitting in the head and centre on her half. You're going to hear her.
And I love it though, because like,
It just shows how much she cares.
she's been at the club for years though, hasn't
She has.
She came up through her development.
Yes, she did. She's from Newcastle.
And she's normally really good at managing her backline. Unfortunately, we don't have a very good backline this year,
Yeah.
so it's hard. And obviously having Bannon, our captain, in the backline as well is beneficial, because they can both
They work well together. Yeah.
And they may argue, but they do it out
It's
of
because
passion.
of the passion. They've been playing together for so long, and they've both come up through our development and played with us, and it's just because they love us.
And they've Rachel Laws has actually won the WCL 1 and the WCL 2.
She has.
She won it with Liverpool when she went on loan that
Yeah.
season. And
Then she came back to us, and we won the Super League 2 to come on.
yeah, so she has the quality of an international, like I've said, because she got called up for England when Sean Chamberlain was injured.
Yes.
The only thing I think this season is that she's had a poor game. Like, she had that poor game against Arsenal, and obviously that's why Hilda Gunnarsson got
Yeah.
put in for the Liverpool game. And sometimes I think the frustration affects her a bit on the pitch, which is understandable.
Yeah, you understand that. Obviously, if you have a bad game, it's going to get to you.
But no, that bad game against Arsenal, I actually think, although it was a negative, it's inspired her.
Yeah, it's something to
Become
grow from.
Yeah. So then we have our backup, Hilda Gunnarsson. So she has been phenomenal for us last season as well, because Laws was injured last season.
Yeah, she had a knee injury.
So she stepped up and she helped us get 4th in the
She
league.
did.
She performed well via Liverpool, and she was a youth international for Norway.
She was. Indeed, she played for the under-23s.
I mean, she's not got a further call up, but
No.
even that experience against players that are of international standard is quite good, and she's always lovely to fans.
She's the nicest.
I mean,
100% biased, because she's my actual friend, but she's so nice.
I mean, we always, well, when I'm down, we always talk to her after games and
we
stuff.
meet with the players and we'll have a little conversation, but they'll move on, and Hilda will meet everyone, and she'll come and stand with us for a while and just have a chat, talk about the game, talk about what we're doing with our lives.
Yeah. The only negative I think is, like, she doesn't see the field much, but then that's a positive for Rachel Laws, because it shows that she's doing well. She's not as good as managing a backline as Rachel Laws, but that comes with work.
Yeah.
And
She's still young.
And Lozzie has worked with the players on our team for so much longer as well, so she picked up a knock in the Liverpool game, so that was her only game this season. She got injured in it, which is a bit of a negative.
She's back fit now though.
Yeah.
So if we need her, she'll be there.
So we've only got 2 keepers, and then if we move on to defenders, we have, how many defenders do we have?
6 or 7. I think 6, because 2 of them are injured.
Yeah, we have 6. So Abby Holmes.
Abby Holmes.
She is a consistent player for us.
She is.
She starts almost every game, apart from when she's on a red card ban. Yeah. She's solid.
She is. Like, physically solid. As well as solid in the squad. Solid. She's a brick. An actual brick.
I mean, it's hard for players to get past her.
Yeah. She's
she's slow.
Yeah. If she's in the right position, she's going to get to that ball.
In the nicest way possible. She's intimidating.
Oh, she is. I wouldn't want to be going up against her.
she's not afraid to get in an attacker's face. She's not afraid to go for those slide tackles, which is something that our team lacks. Like, apart from Bannon and Abby, we don't really slide tackle people.
No.
And I think, although it shows in an aggressive way sometimes, she's good at slide tackling players and good at getting in their faces and closing them down.
Yeah.
She's our only player, I would say, that actually closes down other players.
She does close down very well. As long as she's in the right position to do so, she will close down a player effectively.
And I know I don't really approve or agree with her playing wing back because she's not fast enough to get back.
Yeah.
When she gets the opportunity, she's a phenomenal crosser.
She's good up front. She scored against Chelsea last season. She's good up front. She just doesn't have the speed for it.
I mean, arguably, if she was faster, I'd play her as a defensive mid.
Yeah.
And it showed in the Man City game because she had a few crosses to Roach and almost helped her score. So, but no. The only issue is that sometimes she's a bit too aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Gets herself into situations where she gets sent off or gets yellow carded
Or breaks people's legs.
Or breaks people's legs. For stupid reasons though, like unnecessary fouling.
Yeah.
She isn't suited to playing wing back as well.
She's not.
I mean, I don't mind her having a go at it as long as they have the defenders to back up, which we don't have this season.
There's a game, Crystal Johnson was on the same wing as Abby Holmes, and Abby kept running up, and Joey was good. She was falling back and keeping that position. But if we don't have a player that can do that, then it's dangerous.
Yeah, so although saying that, I've got a top with Abby Holmes' name on the back, so I love her as a player.
Me too.
Probably my favourite player on the field.
She's one of my favourites.
Roach and Abby are probably my favourite players on the field, actually. I mean, love the whole team.
Of course.
Being a bit biased, though. And then we have Hayley Sharp. She plays centre-back and full-back, which is good.
She's good. She can play wherever you stick her in defence.
Which is good because we're obviously lacking defensive players this year.
Yeah.
As we've mentioned about 17 times this podcast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a big issue.
She is a consistent 90-minute player, though. I mean, bringing her back from injury for 90 minutes probably wasn't the best idea. We were forced to do it, though, so didn't really have the choice. It's nice to see her back on the field, though, after such a long break. And it's good having a 90-minute player, though, because all of her defence are 90-minute players. Like, even though I said Abby doesn't have the speed, she's a 90-minute player.
Yeah.
And there's a few players in our midfield that apparently Carlton Fairweather doesn't think are 90-minute players, but I'm glad they're not in our defence because we don't have the subs to make for that. She is good at pushing up as well and getting back, and she can cover ground quite quickly when she's in the right position. Has saved us quite a lot this season.
When she gets the chance, she's good up front as well. She scored in one of the games last season before she tore her ACL. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's nice to have her back on the field. Although, obviously, she was out for a year with the injury and has to take it easy on the field, and that showed in the City game where she pushed it a bit much and we thought she'd re-injured her ACL.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think after the break she'll be completely fit.
Yeah.
Because she was pretty much completely fit before the break, but, you know, there's still that constant thought in the back of the fans' mind, like, don't injure yourself again. We don't have the space to do that.
I know.
Steph Bannon.
Love her.
Captain for so many years.
8 whole years. I don't know how she's put up with us for that long.
I mean,
she's the definition of a good player, there through thick and thin.
Exactly. She's consistent. She's organised. She had one bad game, but I've not heard of her having a bad game in my whole time as a Sunderland fan.
No, she's normally really solid and a good player.
And she's organised. She can organise that backline so well. But she's good because she knows to cover Abby's back if Abby goes up and can't get back in time, and she can come out to that wing and she can cover that wing while also making sure that we don't let any goals. And it doesn't always work, but she tries.
She does.
Yeah, yeah, the only negative I really have is that really bad game against Liverpool. But again, as a player and as a professional captain, she'll come back from that.
Yeah.
It's one game.
She will.
Trev.
I love Trev.
She's so fast. She can get up that wing.
She is incredibly fast.
And she plays as a centre back and full back.
She's similar to Hayley Sharp in that you can put her anywhere in defence and she'll play well.
She works well on the wing as well, though.
Yeah.
Like I said, often seen on the wing and links up so well with Steph Roach. Third time we've mentioned this or something.
I mean, I'll mention it for the rest of my life. It's beautiful.
It's so good. And she's tall, which is really, really good for defending headers, like we said. I mean, how long she played for us?
She came to us last summer.
Came to us last summer from Doncaster.
Yes.
And when she played for Doncaster, they were an alright team.
Yeah. They were good in WSL too.
I mean, they've had a really bad season this season, but when Trev was with them, they were
decent, yeah. I mean, they were still decent even when she was gone and she was with us. They came second in the WSL too last year to come up.
I mean, the only thing I can really say is she's had a couple of knocks this season, had to be subbed off, and that's really not beneficial for us. But again, knocks can't be helped.
Yeah, that's more of a defensive standpoint rather than anything to do with Trev.
Yeah. And then obviously we have Showman, who was really strong for us when she was fit. She was really good at keeping the backline in check, and she had a really, really strong start to the season. It's just extremely disappointing that she's out, and in the nicest way possible, that's made her a useless signing for us because we've signed someone to help us improve defence that can't even play for us anymore. And it's not her fault at all.
It's not at all.
It's not her fault. It's Liverpool's pitch that has caused that. But I mean, we needed the defenders and we don't have them now. And obviously Pittman as well. She's had experience in America. She's played for all of the England youth teams. She was brought in to improve the backline, which is showing strength, and she played half a game and she's out for a year because of Yeovil's pitch. And again, another useless signing for us.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
But no, I don't mean that in a bad way about either of them. I thought both of them had potential, looked phenomenal, and it's just them being out is a bit rubbish for us, really.
Yeah.
So our defence is lacking. We have 6 defenders. 2 of them are out injured for a year. We play 4 every game. No defenders to sub in. We have to play players out of position if we need to.
Yeah.
Unless we bring Megan Beer up, but again, as of the time of this podcast being recorded, she's not.
Still development.
So again, I hope she comes up because then I can talk about it all I want in the podcast.
Yeah.
We do have a reasonably good amount of midfielders though. We have how many midfielders do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4
We've got
5, 6, 7, 8. About 8 midfielders. Because I would count Roach as a forward, even though she plays in midfield. So yeah, we obviously have Chaplin. She's been our top scorer this season. She's fast, she's skilled, she's played at youth level for England. Absolutely phenomenal player.
Yeah.
One of our best players this season.
Yeah, she is.
I'm just glad she's been getting goals for us because obviously Beth Mead's phenomenal, but
she's been so heavily marked this year.
Yeah.
Especially with her getting top scorer last year. All of the players know if Beth Mead gets the chance, she's going to put it home. So they have to mark it, and it does give some of our other players more of a chance. I mean, Brooke Chaplin's been getting goals, Steph Roach got a goal, Trev got a goal, but she has shone this season having that extra bit of space.
Yeah, and I think the only thing I have to say about her is for someone that's our top scorer this season, she should try get in the box more when there's crosses.
Yeah.
Because obviously she'll be working in the midfield, but relying on purely Beth Mead to score goals when she's being heavily marked isn't a good idea. So when Roach puts in those absolutely phenomenal crosses, we need someone on the end of it, and I think Brooke Chaplin's the one to do that.
Yeah, Brooke Chaplin would be a good one to be in there.
And we obviously also have Emma Kelly.
Yes, Emma Kelly.
So she's played for us for quite a while.
Yeah, she's a local girl. She come up through our development. She still does play in our development, actually, as one of the senior team players that's allowed in the squad.
Yeah. She's a highly skilled winger.
Yeah.
It's been good from what I've seen of her.
She is a good winger. I've seen more of her last season. She played more last season when we didn't have as many wingers. When we weren't trusting Steph Roach quite as much, she played.
Yeah.
She's good on the wing.
She creates a lot of chances, and she's a good defender when she gets back for it.
Yeah. She's strong.
So, best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we rely on defence this season. Because, I mean, we have the goal scorers, we just can't get on the end of that. Like, we have Steph Roach, we have Beth Mead, we have Brooke Chaplin, they're all goal scorers. We don't have the defenders, so we have to make the most of that. I mean, she fades into the background a bit sometimes.
She hasn't been playing so much this season.
Yeah, she's more of a bench player this season.
Yeah, she's been one of the ones that comes on when one of the wingers is subbed off, inevitably, at or around half-time.
Yeah.
Every game.
Yeah. Speaking of wingers, Ramshaw plays winger, doesn't she?
Yes, Ramshaw's a winger.
Yeah, so we've got Kira Ramshaw, and she's really good at pushing up, and she's very tall, so
very tall.
That's beneficial for set pieces.
Yeah.
She's good at clinical passing.
Yeah, she's a good passer.
I mean, that's where we struggle though, because obviously kick the ball up to Beth Mead, hope for the best seems to be what we do, but
yeah,
when we get Ramshaw the ball, pass to midfield, pass out to Roach, cross into the box, shot on goal.
Yeah.
Seems to be her best.
She's good at holding the ball up when she needs to. She can get it around players. But she is often subbed off at half time or subbed on at half time depending on who starts.
Yeah, that suggests her being a 45-minute player, right? Well,
I think she can play for longer. I definitely think she can play for longer.
I think she could play for longer, but it suggests that Carlton thinks she's a 45-minute player.
I would think as well. I don't know if Carlton knows who he wants to start. Because we've got Emma Kelly who can play on that wing, we've got Kira Ramshaw, and we've got Abby Joyce. They all play on that wing, and they're all phenomenal when they play there. Just, they can't all last the full 90 minutes. And they're all so similar in the space. I mean, Joyce is more going forward. She's listed as a forward on our team sheet, but she always plays on the wing, same as Steph Roach.
Yeah.
But Kira is so good in midfield, and then Emma Kelly is good doing both. You don't know who you want there.
I know, like, arguably, it's a bad thing having them all so similar, because you can't have an effective sub that comes on and does something different. I mean, like you said, Joycey can do that, but at the same time, plays in the same position and plays out of position.
Yeah.
So it's not great. And we have Rachel Furness.
Our little love. She's
Absolute
so good.
Powerhouse.
She is.
I mean, unbeatable in the air, I'd say, pretty much.
She's so good going up for the ball.
And she's a 90-minute player, so rarely ever gets subbed off, except in that game against Reading, which still baffles me. Don't understand it.
Me neither.
She's rarely benched and rarely has a bad game, so much like Bannon, always plays 90 minutes, doesn't have a bad game, really.
Yeah, she's recently become a full-time player as well. She quit a job to come and play for us full-time, which is, it showed improvements even from last season. She's a better player.
Yeah, although she's not a goal scorer and she's not as solid on the ground as she is in the air. She's still pretty solid, but not as solid as she is in the air. And she is a goal scorer for Northern Ireland, but that's a one-off thing. Like, I've not seen her score many for Northern Ireland, so...
She scores okay for Northern Ireland, but then that comes from the fact that the Northern Ireland team isn't as good as the people in the Sunderland team.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. We have Kelly McDougall.
Kelly McDougall.
Negative, they cannot spell her name on the back of shirts.
Oh no. She's got 2 L's in her name, but everywhere you look, it's got 1 L on it. I don't understand it. Does she not notice that they're spelling her name wrong?
I mean...
Does she spell her name wrong?
Either they're spelling her name wrong online and it has only got 1 L, or they're spelling it wrong on the back of her shirt.
And everything else.
And everything else. I know.
They're spelling it wrong somewhere.
Yeah, because sometimes they say it with 2 L's, sometimes they say it with 1 L.
I don't know.
But no, she's played for us for years, and she's a very, very strong midfield player.
She's strong.
Although she likes to ride the bench a bit, fails to start for us that much anymore.
She's only started 1 game this season.
Yeah. I wouldn't say she's still a 90-minute player. Like, if she pushed herself, she could be, but
yeah,
she's not a 90-minute player.
She's definitely more effective as the sub than she is to start the game and play the full game.
Yeah. We have Crystal Johnson as well.
We do. Joined us from Man City in the last transfer window.
She played for City for 8 years.
Yeah.
Which, showing how impressive the Man City team is, really beneficial for us.
Yeah.
She's a solid starter, and she's very spatially aware. Like, she can make a good pass, but again, our team lacks getting into space. She picked up a knock, and she's been pulled out of our lineups a bit this season.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's been pretty good.
She's another one who plays on the wing, and it's like, we've got so many wingers, and we don't know what to do with them.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't know who to take out. Arguably, I'd probably play Crystal and Steph on either wing, but then it's like, you've got 3 other wingers who are good, and you're not utilising them.
Yeah. I think another person we brought in the transfer window was Lizzie Stanforth. So obviously she played for us.
Yeah. Came up through her development.
Left and then came back.
Yes.
So she came home.
She came home.
She's a very good central mid.
She is.
And she's good at set pieces, but we're just not good at capitalising on that.
She's good when she goes down with the ball and she just kicks it around the other team's legs. I don't know how she does it, but no one can get past her when she's on the floor with the ball.
I know. And, I mean, she always had that ACL tear.
Yeah. She's had 2 ACL tears in quick succession, and she's come back from them.
She's come back good.
Incredible.
But yeah, like I said, she's prone to ACL tears.
Yeah.
And she fails to score from set pieces, but that's not really her issue. That's more not being able to capitalise on other teammates as well who can't get on the end of them. And then obviously our last midfielder is Abby Joyce.
Yep.
She's small, but it means that she can get around other players.
Fast.
She's so quick, and it allows her to beat players easily, get around players. I mean,
she's got good skill.
She's like a slightly less skilled Fran Kirby for our team.
Yeah, she's like a mini Gemma Davison.
Like a mini Gemma Davison, yeah. I mean,
she's not quite as techers, but still pretty techers.
Yeah. She's good at going for goal.
She is. She's good. If you get her in the middle and you get a good pass into her, she can score. She's listed as a forward. I think she's always said that she's a forward. We just play her on the wing.
I mean, she seems to, again, we only use her for 45 minutes. I think she could play longer, but we only use her for 45 minutes and she plays out of position, like you said. I think the main thing you said is she lacks confidence.
She does. I know from speaking to players, they say that she's absolutely phenomenal. She is. You can say that on the pitch. But she comes on the pitch and you know that the pressure gets to her shoulders come up and she loses that bit of confidence that she has maybe in warm-up or in training, and it just makes them make mistakes, which it's just something that comes with time. Eventually, if she has good games, she gets regular starts, that confidence is going to come up.
Yeah.
It's just something that we need to work on as the team to help her progress.
Yeah. Like, I do think that she should be a regular starter for us. Like, out of all the wingers and stuff we have and people that only play 45 minutes, I'd start her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously,
when Joy picked up that knock, the next one that I would have played would have been Abby Joyce.
I mean, I'd rearrange the midfield so both Joy and Joycey play, but that's just me.
I mean, if I was going to say change the format and put Steph Roach up front, I would do the same.
Yeah.
But with the position that we're playing now, with Steph Roach on the wing, I'd put Joycey on the other wing.
Yeah. So obviously we've got more listed forwards, but we've only got 2 that I would actually class as forwards.
Yeah.
So Steph Roach is a forward. Doesn't play as one.
No.
But major glow up from last season.
Yes.
Was pretty poor last season to our best player this season, because I think that also comes from the fact that we came into this season with no expectations for her. Like you said,
Yeah.
the expectations I think got to her last season.
I mean, last year she came to us following a very close Puskas Award. She nearly won it, and we knew that she could score that good goal, and we wanted her, and we got her. But then she didn't do the same for us, and it's like, you can't expect wonder goals from a player every single time she steps foot on the pitch. But people still expected her to be better.
But I think that also comes with playing her at position.
Yeah. She was always meant to be. She's a forward through and through.
Yeah. I mean, she's great on goal. Like, that's proved this season. Our headers, I mean, arguably, she's weaker with one foot than the other one,
Yeah.
but she can still get off a good shot with both of them.
Yeah.
And I think that, like I said, she's an effective passer on that wing. Her, Trev, and then on goal is our best option, I think. And then she creates chances for other players.
She does.
And I think that has contributed to her being our best player this season. And I think that her playing out of position contributes to her lacking confidence on the field, though, and I think other players lack confidence in her because we don't seem to use her very much. But
Yeah.
I don't understand why, because she's so good when she does get the ball. And
she always seems like the last player they want to pass to. Like, you'll see, like, if Brooke Chaplin might be held up in midfield and everyone else is held up, then they'll pass to her. But if there was somebody else free, it would probably go to the other player.
Exactly.
Which is unfortunate, because if Steph Roach is free on that side, she can run. She might not be the best, but she's got better, and she's gotten better at getting past the players, putting the crosses in, getting shots on goal. She's majorly improved from last season.
I know, and I mean, keep improving. We have world-class player on our hands.
Yeah.
And then obviously we've got Beth Mead, top scorer last season. Was robbed of an England place last season.
Yeah.
Really deserved one and didn't get one. I mean, arguably still deserves an England call-up, but I would say she deserved one more last season after her phenomenal performance. She's really quick. She can get past players really, really quickly. Good footwork, and she's clinical in front of goal.
Yeah.
I mean, that just shows from top scorer last season. She was unpredictable. She's been our top scorer for the last 4 seasons, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, this season, she's not leading that, but I think that comes down to the fact that everyone's constantly marking her.
Yeah. She's got something like 75 goals in 79 games for us, which is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, that's almost a goal a game.
Yeah.
Which is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Although, she's too predictable.
Yeah. At this point, we aren't using her to the best of our abilities, and people know what she's going to do.
And she's always heavily marked, which is because she's relied on too much, which has made her come off as poor this season, but she's not been poor. It's just that we can't get the ball to her because of our tactics.
Yeah, our tactics, and the fact that she's so watched by the defence of the other team, she can't get the space.
Yeah, and I mean, as we were just going to get onto tactics, is like the first one I've got listed is our lob the ball to Mead tactic. I mean, it's too predictable. Just kicking the ball up to Mead and hoping for the best. It doesn't do anything.
She's good on a counter-attack if you can get the players away from her. But the fact that there's almost always 2 players around her, and then the other players, when she gets the ball, can come in on her, she's not got the space to be able to work with it.
I mean, having that tactic, though, puts far too much pressure on her.
Yeah.
And I think that it's ineffective. It hasn't worked this season at all.
She lacks confidence in herself sometimes anyways. You know, she doesn't really expect an England call-up anymore, because she's been called up so many times and not used, and she's just like, oh man, I'm probably just not good enough. In reality, she's more than good enough. She just hasn't excelled this year. And if we can't get the ball to her well and get her to put a goal in, her confidence is just going to drop even more.
Yeah, and I think her being heavily marked, I mean, clinical passing seems to work better for us, and her being heavily marked, we need to pass the ball about, get it to her, and
You just need to get the defenders away from her. The more we pass, the more those defenders have to come away.
exactly.
And then when she's got that space, you can slot her in.
And I think that as well as relying so heavily on me doesn't give other players a chance, and that drops players' confidence, like Roach and Joycey, and I just think that we need to distribute the reliability among players. And I mean, as well as that, we've got a really bad habit for passing back.
Yeah.
And I think that because we don't pass, we pass back instead of passing to make chances, and we rely on that instead of pushing up.
One of the issues we have with that is we see a player next to us and we freak out and we're like, how do we keep this ball on our team? I know who's free. Rachel Laws is free. She doesn't have a player on her.
Yeah, and then that just
It's just
a never-ending
we can't
cycle.
get forward.
And it ruins chances that we could make from it, and it's time wasting. Like, if we're 4-0 down, like in the Liverpool game, passing back to the goalkeeper's not going to do anything. Take a chance, push up, go for a goal. Even if you're not going to get it, it's worth trying.
Even if you're 4-0 down and you at that point you're not going to win, keep their goal difference down. The more you score, the less they've got to go on if things come down to goal difference at some point.
I mean, it gives other teams a chance to break if we have poor back passes, and allows them to push up on us. And
if they know that we're going to use pass back, someone like Fran Kirby's going to be waiting for it. And if she sees a ball going back towards Rachel Laws, she's going to be on it like a shot.
Like that's that whole thing with Tash Harden in the Liverpool game. Passed it back to Rachel Laws, kicked it up straight to Tash, got a goal.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Our backline position is not very good in our tactical.
No.
I mean, we're almost never in formation, which leads to goals because we've got a poor backline as it is. It allows for too much space, and we don't press on players, and it's because we fail to mark.
Yeah.
And I think that that's contributed to most of the goals this season. But
it has.
Again, comes with injury, comes with improvement. You know, and yeah, we seem to have like a shift of players at half time as well. So, for instance, players like Joyce and Ramshaw get 45 minutes each, and we sub them.
Yeah.
And I think that they could play longer. And we also include Joey and Emma Kelly. But this ignores out of form players, because I know for a fact that sometimes there's players that haven't been playing to their ability and I would sub them off, but because Carlton's got this tactic, he subs off a player that has been performing well that game, and I don't think that
it either leaves us too short on subs, we need to kind of hold on to one in case there's an injury, or we've used all of our subs and someone's been playing badly and we really should take them off. We don't have the subs for it because we're using one and we're wasting one on something that doesn't need to happen yet.
But yeah, I think that we need to improve our tactics a bit. Like I trust Carlton knows what he's doing with the team because he's worked with them. Personally, I would take a different approach. But I'm hoping he can get us out of the fix that we've put ourselves in this season. But no, we've got a few league games coming up, and we've got a few league games coming up, and so obviously we've got Arsenal away, lost 7-0 to them in the FA Cup. Hopefully we can capitalise on that, and we're looking to improve our form on our first game back.
I think even that, we might just be looking to prove that we didn't deserve that 7-0 defeat.
Yeah. But I think that'll spur us on to work for a draw. And we've also got our first home game back, though, is Chelsea.
Yeah.
So we're looking for a repeat of last year when we upset them 4-0 in the first game of the season. But again, we're going to be fatigued. It's 3 days after Arsenal. Arsenal started poorly this season, came back, won the FA Cup. They've been on a good streak since then.
Yeah.
And then we've got Arsenal at home, actually. Another game to build on struggles, and we're going to aim for, I'd say we aim for a point. Like, a win would be excellent, but a point's more realistic.
Yeah.
We have Man City away. We're going to that, and I don't expect to win that at all. League leaders, they're going to want to win.
They're going to see that game as 3 points all the way, because they need those 3 points. If Chelsea have dropped points, but I don't think Man City can go the entire season not dropping points, especially against tougher teams. I think they're going to have to see our game as 3 points, so we're going to struggle.
We've also got Birmingham at home and away, and we got 4 points last year, so I think we're looking to replicate that and get 4 points this year so that we can, try avoid relegation. But like I said, Birmingham are third at the moment as of the break.
Yeah.
And they've had a good run this year. But we play them at home on the last day of the season, so it's likely to count for something whether it's relegation or whether it's Birmingham challenging for something.
Yeah.
So, depending on what we're aiming for, it's likely to be an important game. We also have Notts at home and away.
Yeah.
They're directly next to each other, so...
Yeah.
Do you know what one we play first? Do we play away first? I think we play away first.
Yeah, we play away first, then we come home.
So we can pick up how they work away, and we can come home and counter that.
Yeah.
And there's a month break in between those, so that does give us time to work on it, but it's also not very beneficial that there's a month.
I mean, it gives us time to work on it, but it also gives them time to change what they want to do with us. Depending on how that first game goes, they might change, we might change. You never know what's going to happen with a month break.
We're looking for the 6 points. I don't know if we'll get them, but we're looking for them because they've had a disappointing form this season as well. And then I think our most important games this season are against Doncaster Bells.
Yes, definitely.
Because they're fighting relegation. They're below us and they haven't got a win in the league yet.
No.
We've got them in the cup first, and that's away, so we can learn how they play away. A win in the cup's not essential. I mean, it would be nice, but the league's more important at the moment. We have to win that game at home.
We have to.
Like, if we lose that game, I reckon we're going to be relegated. We have to win it. And we have to get at least a draw away, I think. But go for the 6 points.
It's unfortunate because we often struggle against Doncaster. It's a team that, for some reason, we just don't know how to work. Hopefully, having Trev, we might have a little bit of inside information. She might know how a few of the players work. So we might be able to counter some of it. But we have to go out there looking for those 6 points.
And we need to keep up our goal difference because Donny's is so bad that if it comes down to goal difference on the final day of the season, we need to make sure that we've got the better one.
Yeah, ours has to be higher.
Doncaster away and at home will probably impact the rest of our season. So,
could be make or break.
Yeah. But no. Out of all the games we've got coming up, we won all 6 from Notts County. We won all 6 from Doncaster Rovers Bells. We won at least 4 from Birmingham, and I think that'll ensure our safety.
Yeah.
And, I mean, aim for draws. I mean, I'm not as bothered about the Birmingham ones. Like, I think it would be good to aim for 4 points, but I don't think it's as crucial if we don't get them. But I think that aim for draws and rest, and then apart from Reading, we've started with hard games this season, so it's just unfortunate that we've not got the teams in poor form before they have the chance to bring in new players. And I think that our main thing that we're trying to say in this podcast is we need to bring in players. We don't have the chance to not. We have to. We don't have the defence to...
Even if we have to look for free transfers or players from Super League 2 that we think we can develop because we can't afford as much as City or Chelsea or Arsenal can. But we have to look for players and we need to get that depth in the squad like Man City and Chelsea have.
Yeah, and I think we need to start picking up points. That's a given. We do. We need the points, and I think it would be disappointing to be relegated because we had such a good season last year and we had such high expectations. But by the time that we do our next podcast, we will have... I'll probably say that we'll do one after the Arsenal and Chelsea games and we'll discuss them.
Yeah.
I mean, hard games coming back, but I mean, have to be talked about and stuff. But yeah, I think that we will start picking up points. We just need to get that fight back.
This
in us.
break has to be a chance to get our confidence back.
I mean,
because we've lost it.
I spoke to Steph Roach a bit on social media, and she said that the break will be good for them, and they're trying to come back stronger.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we do that, we'll stay up.
Yeah. When I spoke to Hilda, she said that the break was a chance for them to just get themselves back in form, because they're not on form, and they all know it, and they're aiming. Once they're all back from their holidays that they've had this week, loads of them have been away and just enjoying some time off in the break. They come back and they're going to go straight back down to work.
Yeah, and I think the main thing I want to say about the season and to players is trust Steph Roach at all costs.
Yes.
She will be our saving grace this season. I can just tell.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to see her perform, because I just...
Me too.
Yeah. But no. We'll be back to talk about the Arsenal and Chelsea game probably. It might be a bit later, might cover more games, but we'll talk about them. And yeah, so this is just been our league roundup so far.
Yeah.
And obviously all opinions that we shared are our own and in no way reflect the team, apart from any
just us,
any inside information we've got or whatever. But no, we'll be back to talk about Arsenal and Chelsea, and hopefully by then we'll have some good news to talk about.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So we'll round this up and do another podcast soon?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.